Greetings all, Frog here. Let's play GeoGuessr. We have been challenged. Wade has returned with part 7 of the American Civil War Challenge. This one is called Tragedy. So, can't wait to read these. We're on Lake Road, in a cornfield, in a forest and a cornfield, with a lake. Probably it's a good thing it's called Lake Road. Somewhere in the United States. Probably the eastern portion thereof. Lake Road and 4 Mile Lane. Okay. Let's go down the 4 Mile Lane here. No weight over 10 tons. I think we're okay. I have been eating a lot lately, but we should still be fine. Corn as far as the eye could see. Old Man Peabody had a crazy idea about raising trees. You ever just get a fresh haircut and then like your head itches for days? I got a haircut yesterday. My head has been itching. I don't like it. I mean, I like the haircut. I like everything nice and neat and close cropped and everything, but I don't like feeling itchy. What is this now? Great River Road, Tennessee, America's byways. All right, so we're in Tennessee somewhere. Highway 19. All right, it's the Tennessee 19. Trying to see where the Tennessee 19 leads before we just go looking for the map. I'm going this way because it said the Great River Road is this way. Not a lot to say, really. We're just going down a cornfield on the Tennessee 19, which runs east-west. I guess we can pay attention to that. And heading east doesn't really help us. You'd have thought it would, since this is the Great River Road. Alright, let's go looking for it. Let's use the big map, please. Thank you. Tennessee. For the Tennessee 19. Preferably by a river. I've seen the 13 and the 15 so far. Is that the state line? Yeah, it's Alabama. Lines are different when you look at the big map versus the actual game. $39? So close. Not really the mountain area, is it? I don't see it. I really don't want to have to zoom in any farther, but I will. The only teen roads I've seen are 12 and 13. Obviously 12 is not a teen, but you know what I mean. 2-digit 1 road. There's an 11 actually. Huh. I mean, here's another river, right? $39. It's like 19. Just 20 more. 3 times less 1. I guess if it's 19 3 times, it's 3 times, or twice rather, plus 1. Well, that's unfortunate, that is. There's 10. Well, 19, you've eluded me. Let's say we're outside of Nashville somewhere. Like in that region. Oh, we were way... It was the Mississippi. Crutcher Lake Road. 4 mile, join back into Crutcher Lake Road, crazily enough. And the 19 runs along the, why did I not see it at that zoom level? Bad luck, obviously. All right, Fort Pillow was situated on the Mississippi River just south of where I began. Sadly, Google doesn't have map coverage of the state park itself. It was built by the Confederacy in 1861 and named for General Gideon J. Pillow. As part of the early campaigns in the West, the Union seized control of the river and the fort had to be abandoned. The North occupied it for much of the war, with the exception of a fateful day in April 1864. Famed cavalry commander Nathan Bedford Forrest was conducting a sweep through Kentucky and Tennessee, and the fort lay in his path. The Union garrison numbered around 600, split between the 6th and 2nd Colored Artillery Regiments and Major Bradford's Tennessee Battalion, while Forrest had more than 1,500 immediately available. The Union also had a gunboat backing them up on the river. Surrounding the fort and hitting it with sniper and artillery fire, Forrest demanded their surrender. Their surviving officer in command refused, and the Confederates stormed the embankments. Pushed back, the defenders retreated to the river, where they hoped the gunboat would provide artillery support, but its gun ports had been shut against fire from the banks, and no support was forthcoming. Accounts describe the battle alternately as a rout or a massacre. Whether deliberate or not, about half of the defenders perished, and only 20% of the African-American soldiers survived to be captured. Many of the garrison were reported to be killed as they tried to surrender. That is tragic. I told you this is not going to be a happy one. This is Prison Site Road. It's a state park of some sort, obviously. It's a very cheap fort there. Yeah, we'll go this way. This is the wrong way, of course. It's a one-way road going the other way. So be it. Boom, 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 boom. What do you have to say for yourself there, Mr. State Park Road? Cemetery Road. Well, the cemetery is its head. The visitor center is to our right. I'd like to go towards the visitor center, please. It's POW Road. All right. National Prisoner of War Museum. Must have been established after the Civil War. Interesting. So the entrance must be back this way. We have chosen wisely. I'll just get the name of the park. What? Andersonville National Historic Site. The Georgia 49. Georgia. Georgia 49. Got Georgia on my mind. Georgia. 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 I don't see 49 anywhere. '94, of course. Well, it's unfortunate. We do have to kind of keep them moving on. Limited time, limited time. Can't have a 40-minute episode here. So, we're going to say we are here, in the middle of Georgia. Slightly farther west. After the slaughter at Fort Pillow, Generals Grant and Butler demanded that all soldiers receive identical treatment regardless of skin color. President Davis refused, and prisoner exchanges between North and South were halted. The result was this place, infamous in the annals of the war. Camp Sumter, better known as Andersonville, was opened in February 1864 and enlarged in June. This late in the war, supplies were running short, and prisoners suffered the most from any lack. Fresh water was also a problem, as the creek running through the camp quickly became polluted. This, along with the overcrowding of the 26-acre facility with thousands of detainees, caused disease to run rampant. Of the 45,000 who arrived at the camp, nearly 13,000 died and were buried in mass graves. The commander, Captain Wirtz, was tried and executed for war crimes. Oof. The Care of Trees, a Davy company from Chicago, Illinois. I'm intrigued. We're on Rhodes and 32nd. Perhaps we're in Chicago. I don't know of any major thing that happened in Chicago, but it's the CDOT. I mean, that's the Chicago Department of Transportation, right? Now, I don't know where the heck Rhodes and 32nd is. I mean, Chicago's kind of big. Like, I don't know if you do that. Well, I mean, we have 32nd and 33rd Streets to work with. 79th Street. 35th Street. 31st. 33rd. I thought for sure it'd be Armour Square Park. Where's Rhodes? Rhodes? We're going, we don't need Rhodes. A little farther north, obviously. Lake Meadows Park. Its counterpart in the north was here. Oh, okay. On Chicago's south side. Camp Douglas was first a training ground, but between the beginning of 1863 to 1865, it was a POW camp. Survivors from Morgan's raid in the previous episode, as well as Shiloh and many other battles, wound up here. Sanitation was once again a serious issue, and although the men did not have to suffer the sweltering heat of a Georgia summer, the frigid winds blowing off the lake could not be called an improvement. Disease and cold claimed many. The official death toll was 4,454, though this may have been slightly understated. County Road 30. What did I just do? Alright, we're still clay. I clicked a button outside of the screen. It could have been tragedy. Not as tragic as what we're reading about, though. Alright, it's a thing. What is this thing? I don't know. The sign's on the other side. It's not very well cared for, is this thing. Parking lot's overgrown. It is Fort Ridgely Historic Site. State park permit is required to park here. County Road 30, Fort Ridgely. Okay. Looks like the foundation for something. One of the gates of the fort, maybe? I don't know. Oh, it's kind of County Highway 30, not just County Road. What's this? It's McCulloch County, 21. Perfect. National Preservation Route. It's a scenic byway. Okay. Nothing to see here. Oh, there's a car. Truck, as it were. It's a dirt road now. Probably should get off this road. Yeah, we're going to go back to the pavement. I don't know when that happened, when the switch, and I just didn't notice. Yeah, it was a lot sooner than I noticed. Drive, please, like a little faster. Ow. All right, here's where we were. It's County Road 30. It's County Road 5 and 21, apparently. Stop signs are good. Stop signs imply bigger roads. We're crossing the Minnesota 4? This was not what I expected. Minnesota 4. Start in the top left and go down, I guess. Well, there's the 5. How close? We need the 4. There's the 1. There's a blizzard warning in northeast North Dakota. Thanks. Good to know. If you're watching this, take cover. 2 days ago. Oh, this is cool. I don't need this. Thanks. Go away. I don't see the 4 anywhere. I've seen the 7, the 9, the 1, the 5 so far. In terms of the single digits. And it's the state line. There's the 4. Now we need to find the 21, the 5, and the 30 in the boxes. Boxes for foxes. Or, you know, a state park. That would work as well. Fort Ridgely. I bet we were there. Alright, so it's 19. It's Redwood Falls, Sleepy Eye. It's north of 90, south of 94, east of 71. Okay. East of 71, 90 and 94. In here. Can't remember if it was north of Cosmos or not. Was it north of Hector? I don't recall. Was not. Boom! Nice. The secessionists were not the only adversary the Union had to contend with during this period. What has become known as the Dakota War took place on the Northern Plains in 1862. The Dakota Sioux had became confined to a shrinking reservation. Excuse me, there's a typo there. The Dakota Sioux had become confined to a shrinking reservation surrounded by settlements that diminished their food supply. As the war raged, promised annuities were not a priority, and corruption at the Office of Indian Affairs ate up some of what did arrive. Finally, in August, discontent spilled over into violence. Dakota warriors attacked settlers, burned towns, and defeated initial militia parties sent to quell the uprising. Several townships were all but wiped out, and a death toll of around 800 was reported. Many retreated to the safety of forts like Ridgely, while the town of New Ulm to the southeast came under siege. Both were attacked repeatedly, but the defenders held on. Come September, reinforcements set out from the fort and defeated the Sioux at the Battle of Wood Lake. Conflict continued in the neighboring Plains territories for the next couple of years. All right, final round. We're on US 91. In what appears to be Montana. But with 91, you'd think it's probably likely to be California. Well, I'll admit, I did not expect to be on this challenge. West 800 North, which is US 91. There's an airport here. Which means I guess we're in Idaho, actually. Entering Preston. Oh no. 91 is could be Montana. Somewhere in here. There's 191. There's 91. There's Preston. Entering Preston from the west. On West 800 North. So we start up in there somewhere. Huh. Similar pressures face the Shoshone farther west. As Mormon pioneers moved in the area, the natives were faced with starvation. During 1860 to 63, several small-scale attacks against settlers and miners were carried out in the area. In January, a punitive expedition set out from Fort Douglas to the south. The Shoshone village was sited in a defensible spot on the banks of the creek, with the river and escarpment to either side. After a frontal assault on the village was driven back, the troops surrounded it. The villagers had poor-quality firearms, then the army issued ones, and began to run low on ammo. As they turned to bows and axes in desperation, the battle became a massacre. Somewhere between 150 and 500 were killed, many of those being unarmed women and children. That is American War Challenge number 7, Tragedies. And holy moly, were they. Hopefully we can look for something a little lighter in the next one, but you never really know. The American Civil War is not exactly a light-hearted topic by any stretch of the imagination. Thank you, Wade, for putting these together, and thank you all for watching this episode. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, click the like button. Subscribe to the channel to stay updated to everything that happens. And until next time.